EA have already dropped the first title update and patch notes for FIFA 22, and the full release was 4 days ago. I don't know if we need more time for EA to start making some of these changes, because without a doubt there are some issues that needed to be addressed quickly, but I'm just afraid because historically, if you look back to past FIFAs, especially FIFA 18, the first patch, this patch, ruined the game for the rest of the year. And honestly, I think FIFA 22 has been kind of the best game since probably at least 17, in my opinion. Now, obviously, everybody's opinion's gonna vary, but generally, a lot of people have been enjoying FIFA 22 gameplay, and I'm afraid that EA are going to break it. I'm afraid that EA are going to ruin the game like they have in the past with title updates. So we're gonna review what the patch notes say in this episode, and hope to God that it doesn't ruin anything. It's a pretty hefty article. In fact, there are so many things that they've addressed. So I'm not going to read you the entire thing, especially once we get to career mode in Volta, because generally this channel is for Ultimate Team. So I'll let, the other channels that are career mode based or Volta based cover those if you wanted to see them. We're going to be looking at gameplay and Ultimate Team and menus, all of that good stuff. And that's what's at the top right here. They fixed some things that are like TIFOs and division rival progress, bugs, kind of visual stuff that really doesn't change all that much for us. The following issues, like the playoff post-match screen didn't always correctly display the correct total points and rank. It's not too much of an issue in the first place. It's good that they fixed these things, but they weren't game-breaking in the first place. The things that we've seen that have been kind of really, really inconvenient have been the fact that you couldn't compare price on a lot of the consumable cards or stadium cards, and a lot of the times it looks like they're extinct because you compare price and it says there's none on the market when there's tons of them, when there's thousands of them, in fact. So that is one of the things that I really, really hope they've fixed. As we scroll down, when listing an item on the transfer market, if the starting price was one increment lower than the buy now price, players may have received an error blocking the item from being listed on the transfer market. I'm not sure what exactly they're referencing there, but it could be when you're listing a card for 10,000 coins and then it says on your starting price like 9,850, because that's like the increment once you pass 10,000 coins, right? Or 9,750. They don't let you list it because it doesn't make sense. They don't actually have it to where you can list it for 9,750. So I wonder if that means if you do list it for 9,750, it'll like up it to 9,800. Let's go ahead and test that real quick and see if that's the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab a card from our club, and we're going to go ahead and list that on the market for 9,750 just to test it out. Obviously, these cards don't sell for all that much, so that's not going to be an issue. Let's see if that is exactly what they're talking about when it comes to this issue. As you can see, it automatically switches it to 9,800 now. I wonder if that's what they're referencing. It looks like that's what they've fixed. I've had a lot of instances where I'm moving a card up and down between the price range of 10,000, like 11,000 and 9,000, where it kind of gets bugged out and it doesn't work correctly. So maybe let's go ahead and check on Koulibaly if it does that glitch anymore. And it does. As you can see, it did that glitch from the 10,000 to 9,750 right there. And generally, it wouldn't let you list it. Obviously, I'm not going to test it with Koulibaly because that'd be ridiculous. I'd lose 16,000 coins. So maybe if I were to list that card, it would actually list it for 9,800, which would, not be a terrible idea, but also it's pretty simple to fix it if you know what the issue is. I just feel like it's confusing the first time it happens to you. You're like, why is this card not getting listed on the market? As we scroll down, the following match loss and division rivals, the progress bar could disappear during the post-match flow. Badge and kit items not displaying correctly. Ultimately, I don't see where it shows the compare price. And I might just be overlooking it right now, but I don't see where it shows the issue with comparing price for like hunter cards or shadow cards or other consumables, because that's an annoying glitch. They fixed Joe Cole's player item. That was yesterday. We already knew that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any issue fixed for that, which sucks, because I feel like that would be really, really convenient, and it's worked in previous years, so I don't know why it doesn't work this year. As we get to gameplay, this is some of the biggest, most important aspects of the changes. They've made the effectiveness of goalkeepers when diving for top corner shots inside the penalty box reduced. They nerfed them, which, to be fair, is crucial. There is more of a chance of you shooting a 30-yard finesse shot to the top corner from outside the box than going one-on-one with the keeper and just finessing it into the corner. They seem to save it every single time on 1v1s, and normally I'm not too qualified to talk about gameplay, but I've already played over 100 matches in FIFA 22, which is more than what I played in FIFA 21 throughout the entire year. So gameplay is something I've become a little bit familiar with, at least in the last week and a half, and I've played enough FIFA over the last 8 years to kind of compare it to another couple of games that I played a ton. So even though I'm not amazing at the game, I'm not a pro player, I can still give my opinion on these aspects, and I think this is probably the most important change that they've mentioned. Now, in the past, again, they've taken things and they have way overcorrected things to make it broken on the other end of the spectrum, so hopefully they don't do that here. Anyways, frequency of player controlled sliding box. Blocks making contact with a traveling ball. Okay. Updated the defensive logic for players near the halfway line when defending a counterattack. A lot of times that has been an issue where you can just play the ball through when players are standing at midfield. They a lot of times they step towards the ball, even though that it's completely out of reach, which takes their momentum out of the game for the counterattack, which allows their attacker to just completely smoke them, which wasn't too much of a problem in the first place, because when they went one-on-one with the keeper, most of the time the keeper would save it anyway. But now that they've fixed this, they probably needed to fix that too. Added goalkeeper animations that could occur when a keeper is attempting to save a high finesse shot. Okay. Updated defensive logic for players. Yeah, that's same thing as the other one, it seems. Improved the frequency of player-controlled sliding blocks. Yeah, whatever. Reticle can be placed during free kicks in order to allow more control over spin and general placement. Hasn't been an issue for me yet. I haven't taken too many free kicks. Normally when I get a free kick, I just pass it off. Improved referee logic to call more fouls based on high-velocity tackles. That's good. I was okay with having a little bit more physicality with it being no calls. To be honest, I'm a little bit more happy when the referee isn't blowing his whistle every 2 seconds, but there was a lot of time where the player is committing dog-so, denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, where they just give yellow cards or no cards whatsoever. I feel like that should be improved. More fouls in situation where a player purposely collides with a goalkeeper that is holding the ball. Again, I don't think that's too much of an issue unless you hit the goalkeeper into the goal, which would cause a goal. That would be very inconvenient and a crazy exploit. But if you run into the goalkeeper and he falls over, what's the big issue there? In a video game, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if they needed to add that, but I guess it can't hurt. Improved referee logic to call fewer fouls due to soft physical contact, and that's pretty good. I like that. Improved throw and accuracy for target selection. Okay. And then some issues. So in general, we haven't seen anything for long-range finesse shots that were timed. We haven't seen anything for nerfing the long range finesse shots, which isn't the end of the world. I think having a opportunity to score from outside the box is important, because then it requires you to defend outside your box, and you can't just crowd the box with 8 or 9 players like you did in FIFA 21. So I think that's fine, as long as it's balanced, right? You want to be able to score from inside the box on those 1v1s. You don't want to have to take long shots simply because they go in more often than being 5 feet away from the goal. It's not realistic currently. So fixing that evens it out. It balances it a little bit. Players could take an unintentionally poor touch. That is something I've seen a lot from my center backs. I think it happens when you're sprinting with a player with bad dribbling. They take some really, really stupid touches sometimes. So hopefully that's what it's addressing. A point where it doesn't make it so that you can dribble around with your center backs, no problem, but to where it's just not like where they have an IQ of 5 and they're just dribbling with 20 yards each touch, which sometimes happens. So hopefully that's what it's referencing. The ball carrier would not perform the feint and exit skill move when requested. I don't really use that skill move too much. When manually rushing the goalkeeper outside the penalty box, the keeper could incorrectly attempt to make a save with their hands. That was an issue I saw from Conrad. He had one where the goalkeeper literally came 10 yards outside the box, and then they chipped him, and the goalkeeper saved it with his hands, nearing midfield, and then nothing happened. No call, obviously, because handball isn't a thing in FIFA. So it was wild, and he was freaking out. So that's obviously what that is referencing, which is definitely a bug that needed to be fixed. However, something that I've seen a lot of is when players get fouled technically inside the box, but a lot of the times they the foul carries on to out of bounds, or maybe the foul just happened out of bounds, like past the goal line. The player would be rewarded a free kick, a direct free kick inside the box, which doesn't exist. A direct free kick inside the box is just a penalty kick. But that was a bug that I've been seeing. I assume it's been fixed. Is it right here? A penalty kick could have been incorrectly awarded after a well-timed sliding tackle in the penalty box. I've had that happen to me already this year. But that's not the issue I'm referencing. Where is that? No, surely they fixed it, because that's one of the craziest bugs I've seen. I mean, there was one where the foul happened like in the goal, and the player got awarded a direct free kick from 2 feet outside the goal, and there was no goalkeeper, because I guess the goalkeeper couldn't be within, 10 meters, right? And he just passed it into the goal, and it was a goal. It was even easier than a penalty kick would be. That was wild. So I don't know if they fixed that, but I assume they have, and I just have overlooked it. I'm trying to find it right now. When a player locked, no. That's not it. No. I don't see it. I don't know if they fixed it. I don't know if they actually fixed it, because I don't see it in here on the gameplay. But hopefully they have, because that was a wild glitch. And even though it's not too common, it definitely is game-changing. I saw somebody was winning 3-2 in a draft final, and it happened to them. They passed it into the goal. It was 3-3. They ended up losing that game, which it completely changed the rewards, completely changed the game for them. So that is hopefully something that they addressed. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of these patch notes down below. Do you think it's going to affect the game in a positive or negative way? I know a lot of people aren't happy with it coming out this early. They say, you know what, give it at least one weekend league so that we can kind of see what it's like against some of the other top players and see what exploits are used when players have a lot on the line, because I feel like in casual gameplay, not a lot of people are using the exploits until, you see it a little bit more in D3, D2, D1, Elite Division and all that. But when there's such good rewards on the line for FUT champions, people are going to use every exploit they can in terms of getting those rewards. So hopefully they fix everything on this first go. We don't have to see too many more updates in the future. And I'm pretty happy with how this game has gone so far. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of these patch notes, guys. And I'll see you again in a few hours for our daily Trading to Glory video. Peace out.